All right, I want to talk for a minute about something that's become increasingly obvious over the last few months, and I kind of even went back and forth about whether to make this video. Some of you know that I have a new book coming out, and the pre-order campaign has been scheduled to start today for a while. We've kind of been building to today. Now, this is happening in a world where independent media is under pressure and under attack from the Trump administration. They even put me specifically, your favorite left-handed Argentinian Jewish podcaster, they even put me specifically on a list. We are not under pressure because we're losing audience or because people are not interested in the content. In fact, it's the opposite. The reason that independent voices are becoming more influential than ever is that we are delivering something people want. And there are people in positions of power who don't like that. Now, as many of you remember from a couple weeks ago, whitehouse.gov, the official website of the White House, of the Trump administration, put me on an official list of media offenders. And we're putting that up on the screen. They singled me out by name. And it's not because I got facts wrong or I violated some rule or committed some crime. I'm on this list because I'm willing to criticize this administration and report on what they're doing. And I have no big corporate boss they can go to or 7 layers of management that they can lean on and threaten to sue and pressure to shut me up. They don't like that. It's simply up to you in the audience whether I can continue doing this. If all of you go away and you go, I'm not watching this anymore, the show is over. I mean, that it's really that simple. They don't like that. And I want to remind some of my newer viewers, this is not the first time that they've done this. When my last book came out, this book over here, The Echo Machine, someone within the Trump administration apparently tried to pressure Amazon not to sell the book. They listed about a dozen books by left-wing commentators and said, do not sell these books. My book was one of those books. Now, the goal was never, let's debate the ideas in David's book. They just wanted to stop people from reading it in the first place, period. And look at the history of movements that try to ban books. And it is not a robust defense of free speech from these cowards to try to do that. That is what authoritarians do. They don't want competition in the marketplace of ideas. They want fewer voices. They want loyalty. They don't want scrutiny. They don't want independent analysis. So that brings us to why I'm talking about this today. My new book is officially available for pre-order today. The campaign starts today. We've been building to this for a while. I had no idea when I wrote this book, which was a ton of work, especially with a newborn at home at the time, and this was a big project. I had no idea that I would be on a White House list on the day that the pre-order campaign starts. Now, the book is called Pay Attention. It is about how digital platforms that we use every single day, it's about how they work, how they are designed to manipulate, how they are taken advantage of by bad actors, including like the people in the Trump administration. If you use social media, if you're on the digital platforms, if you have kids who are on them, if you're a teacher and you have kids who are on, this is a must-read book to understand how this all works, because what I extensively researched and wrote about allows me to pull the curtain back on how the algorithms work, how the recommendation systems work, how these engagement incentives and outrage cycles shape what millions of people end up believing in. A lot of people assume I'm just consuming information on these platforms. And what people often don't realize is that you're interacting with systems that are designed to maximize attention, amplify emotionally salient content, reinforce beliefs rather than allow you to think critically, and just keep people locked up in these informational ecosystems. So this goes way beyond just, oh, it's cultural. This is about elections. This is about public opinion. This determines who gains power, who keeps power. And if you've watched the rise of Trumpism and the conspiracy theories and the radicalization stuff I talk about on the show all the time, you have an instinct for how some of those forces work. The book explains how that happens. Now, I am so excited about this book, but I am to be perfectly honest, pretty nervous about the situation as well. Because if you think back to almost 2 years ago, it'll basically be 2 years by the time my book is out. It'll basically be almost 2 years. When the first book came out, I was barely on the radar of the Trump administration. I wasn't on any lists. Stephen Chung, Caroline Levitt, Don Jr., they were not tweeting attacks on me, retweeting attacks on me. And then the Trump administration still tried to get my first book removed from Amazon. So I don't know how far they're going to go this time, especially now that those people I just mentioned are attacking me on Twitter. And I am on an official whitehouse.gov list. The last thing propagandists want is for people to understand the mechanisms that are being used against them. That's why I wrote this book. And that's why pre-orders matter so much. It's about signaling, hey, publishers, retailers, media outlets, recommendation systems, there is demand for independent ideas and for independent voices. So I am coming to you today asking for your help. Pre-orders will determine how widely the book is distributed. How many copies are bookstores going to stock? Is Barnes & Noble going to put it in their stores at all? Will it reach a bestseller list? And the way to ensure that those people like me trying to expose the manipulation have a shot at doing so is we are in a direct competition with the people doing the manipulating. So if you value independent media, if you've gotten something from this program, if you want to understand how modern political persuasion works, I'm asking you to pre-order the book today. You can get signed copies. You can go to davidpakman.com/attention, and that will list all the ways you can get the book. Signed copies are available from Booksmith. The link is on the website. Last time we were kind of slow making signed copies available. I ended up signing thousands of them in a very short period of time, really cramped up my hand. So this time we're doing it from the beginning. You can also get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. The audiobook is available, the Kindle book. All of the options are at davidpakman.com/attention. We start today. We have like 600 or so pre-orders that trickled in just as people noticed that the book was listed. But the campaign starts today. I'm going to keep you posted on how it goes. This is a really easy, simple thing to do. davidpakman.com/attention. And thank you, as always, for making this show possible. This was an insane amount of work. It's incredible just to even see when the pre-orders trickle in. It is such a flattering and humbling show of support for the work that I've been doing and trying to do and will try to continue to do. So signed copies available, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, audiobook, Kindle, davidpakman.com/attention. Check out also on that page the beautiful blurbs about the book from Jessica Tarlov. She's a nasty liberal on Fox News. Jessica Tarlov and Brian Tyler Cohen graciously read and blurbed the book for me. And after you order, feel free to shoot us an email, info@davidpakman.com. Just go, David, I ordered it on Booksmith signed copy or Barnes & Noble. No need to do it, but you can always email and let us know. We love to see that. davidpakman.com/attention.